Beautiful, beautiful evening. How are you doing this beautiful evening? I'm in your face this evening for another chit chat. It's been a minute. How is everybody doing? Today, I want us to talk briefly about redefining what success is for the child in the 21st century. Yes, reflecting. Let's do a bit of reflecting as we redefine success for the 21st century child. My name is Maribeth Shima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. I am the matron of the Mastermind Circle. And yes, let's have a little chit chat for a few minutes this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Is it Wednesday today? Yes, this beautiful Wednesday evening. All right, parents, success is not just about grades and certificates. I hope you know that by now. We need to know some of these things as parents and not just know them, we need to put them to heart so that in our parenting, we are focused on the right thing at every point. Okay? So, yes, success is not just about grades and certificates. Success is more about preparing the child to thrive in the world that we have, in a world that has so many reasons why we should, right? Get our children to thrive in life with the right character, with the right skills, and with confidence. All right. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things that parents need to know, right, in order to put this as a focus and help children to thrive in a world that is full of distraction, in a world that is full of confusion, right? A world is full of distraction, a world that is full of confusion, and a world where people are focused on all the wrong things. Okay, I'm going to go quickly, about this. All right. So let's talk about how success is important and what real success should be for the 21st century child. All right. If you're here with me, let me know that you can see me and you can hear me. Let me know that I am loud and clear on your screen so that I am not talking to myself. Take it a notch. Even say hello in the comment section so that I can also greet you. It's always a pleasure to have you join me on this stream. Where are you watching from? Also, let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching me on Instagram or on Facebook, let me know what city you are joining me from. All right. So, what parents need to know about success. 5 key things I want to discuss this evening. Number 1 is that success is wholesome and not just smartness. Success is about raising children who are wholesome and not just raising children who are smart. A child may ace in school, yes, they may ace in school, they may do all of the things that are academically right, okay, but that child lacks kindness, the child lacks resilience, the child lacks empathy, and the child struggles with confidence. When this is the case, we know that the child is struggling even when the child is being successful. A lot of us have seen this as parents, right? And we tend to ignore them. But hey, it is time to stop ignoring that. I have been in that place where I can't totally say, that it was all about this, but I could see some gap, right, in my child at some point. I could see, why am I saying at some point? At different points, I could see that why our children were doing well, okay, why they were doing well academically, why they were successful academically, there were loopholes here and there in their social life, right? For my different kids at different points. There were loopholes at some point in their social life. There were loopholes when it comes to starting and finishing the things that they have to do. There are loopholes, at different points. So as parents, if you are not paying attention, your child may be doing well, maybe acing in school, but hey, the child cannot stay on a task till they get it through. The child lacks resilience. The child may even lack confidence in many cases, right? It's so bad that you can have your child, exhibits, confidence, or what seems like confidence, in that you may have this child who talks, that is loud, and you may confuse loudness for confidence. Okay. But when it comes to the real holding their own and standing alone in situations where they feel they are not accepted and all of that, you realize that your child cowers in situations like that. Your child cowers when people do not, give them accolades. Your child is constantly looking for validation. When that's the case, you realize that the child may come across, as very smart, or the child may be very smart, may come across as confident, but the child is struggling, right? In the real sense of it, when you talk about confidence. So if you're not paying attention, dear parents, in the 21st century, you will get confused, or you will get distracted thinking all is well. Meanwhile, your child is struggling. All right. Number two thing we're going to be talking is, it's a changing world, dear parents. So skills matter. Yes, skills matter in this world, or in the world that we have today. It is not enough that our children are smart. It is not enough that your child is book smart. The question you should be asking yourself per time, for parents of young children, I work with young children between ages 5 and 10, and I am saying, even at this age, even during this period of their life, between ages 5 and 10, you want to start asking yourself, what skill does my child have? What skill have I empowered my child with? What skills am I building in my child? At every point, what skill does my child need for this time in their life, for this phase in their life? What skill do they need? And do they have that skill? What skill do they need to thrive where they are and at the point in their life? Very, very important in today's world. Problem solving skills, like problem solving, adaptability, adaptability, creativity, right? And all of these are skills that will open doors for our children. They are skills that will open doors and give our children, that will set our children apart. All right. I just came back from a camp recently, and right there in camp, you could see and you could tell the children that their parents have built skills in. You would see that they were able to adapt the situation, when they're out of their rooms and all, out of their homes, are not usually perfect. The situation in camp is not usually perfect. None of us expects it to be perfect, or crying out loud. I was lying down on a 6-spring bed, and all of that. Now, your child's ability to adapt to whatever situation they find themselves in will actually, determine how they thrive in that situation, or how they struggle in that situation. So it is very important that we equip our children with relevant skills that they need to thrive wherever it is that they find themselves. Okay, very, very important. We are talking about, we're doing a series, right? We call it the Success Beyond the Classroom series. And today we're reflecting on what success means for the 21st century child. All right. And I started by saying that success is wholeness. It is beyond the child just being smart. All right. And now I'm talking about the child needing skills in a world that is fast changing. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is the idea of success should be fruitfulness and, of course, faithfulness. We should raise children who understand that they have been called to be fruitful. They have been called to be people who are fruitful. The word of God says, go ye forth, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth. Dominate and all of that. Sometimes we tend to look at these things, or the scriptures, as what is referring only to us being fruitful, reproductively and all of that. But no, that fruitfulness means let's raise children who are productive. Let's raise children. Sorry, let me turn on the fan. Give me a second, please. Sorry, I needed some air in here, okay, before I start sweating. All right, so let's raise children who know how to take on, territories and dominate in them. And yes, who says that your 5-year-old, your 6-year-old, your 10-year-old cannot begin to recognize their place in their space, their place in their world, and begin to dominate in that area. This is what we do when we get children into our mastermind circle. So I run a peer mentorship and accountability group known as the Mastermind Circle for Children. And yes, we work with children between ages 5 and 10. All right. Our big goal, especially, we just started working with 5-year-old and 10 alone this year. So our whole curriculum, our whole system is overhauled, right, to meet the needs of these children. And yes, what we are doing with these children this year is helping them. It's huge. It's big, right? Helping them stay on the areas that they are interested in and the areas where they've got superpowers. We're making them stay on those areas so that they begin to see their place in the world. They see their place in their community, begin to recognize the things in their community that they have been called to, or the things in their community that they are interested in, so that they begin to build themselves to dominate in those areas. So yes, dear parents, it is about our children recognizing fruitfulness and faithfulness. Yes, they need to understand this if they are going to thrive in today's world, or if they are going to be successful in today's world. Success is about stewardship, using what God has placed inside of you, helping your child to recognize what God has placed inside of them so that they can begin to grow. They can begin to hone those special gifts and those special talents that God has placed inside of them, right? So that they can take their place in the world and begin to dominate. Imagine that your child recognizes the place or his place, his interest, and the areas where God has actually fortified them as early as age 6. And the child begins to hone, and the child begins to build. We begin to encourage them. We guide them. We give them accountability. We support them. We point them on the right path. We show them opportunities. We mentor them. Imagine what that child would be at age 15. Our son was in a financial class recently, and I was listening to the with the Naira Academy, and I was listening to the coach, speak to them, and he said to them, one of the mistakes that we made in our generation is that we did not make the best of our 20s. We didn't make the best of our 20s, and that's the mistake that the children in this generation, these young children shouldn't make. Your 20s is the time where you actually take your stronghold. You take your place and you dominate. Okay, but it's not in their 20s that they would discover those areas in their lives. It's not in their 20s that they will begin. It is now when they are 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 that they will begin. So by the time they become teenagers, we have held their hands and we have together partnered with you to build resourceful and productive teenagers. So by the time they are getting to 20, come on now, they are ready to dominate and they are ready to take their place, in the world. Very, very key. Dear parents, number 4, I'm going to share with you, every child's pathway is unique. Every child is different. Every child has got a superpower. That's the first thing the children are going to learn when they step into the mastermind circle, or come the 13th, and in the orientation on the 14th, that's the first thing we're going to say to them. So no, you can't be a mastermind, whether you're 5 or you're 10. You can't be a mastermind and you do not recognize right here and right now what superpowers you have. Right here and right now, I said to my team, the focus in this year's mastermind circle is the child's strength and the child's superpower. We want them to be self-aware. We want them to recognize. We want them to know that they know that I am a savior in this area. And I started being a savior in this area. I recognize this. They will tell the story 10, 20, 30 years from now. I recognize this right from when I was 5 years old, because I had the right people who started my once upon a time journey. Now, this is what we are talking about. We want children to understand that their pathway is unique. And it starts with you, dear parents, understanding that your child's pathway is unique. Some thrive academically, some in arts, some in leadership, some succeed in small size, areas that we don't even focus on. But the truth about it is, we can guide our children to start making baby steps towards recognizing this. And you know something? That's a good thing. When they start early, they are able to explore other areas that they may not even know that that they've got skills in. They're able to explore other areas that they may not be interested in right now that will come in handy later in life, or areas that they may pick interest in later in life. But the truth is, because we don't introduce them to this place early in life, we realize that by the time they begin to get interested or begin to see the things that they're interested in, they are older, right? They're old in their 20s. Okay. For a lot of us, it's in our 20s, in our 30s. And so you were stuck, right? You were stuck on a particular thing. A lot of us went to school, studied, things that we had no interest in, things that we had no business studying. And because, of course, we were already in our 20s, by the time we were finishing, you just stayed there, you worked in that area. That's why we have seen adults who have stayed and they've worked in certain areas, or they've done certain things in their lives for decades. And in all of this time, they never had any sense of fulfillment. You don't want to do that for the 21st century child. You will be breaking them, and you will not be allowing them live their purpose that God has created them for. And hey, you know how it is in the world right now. It's not like, our time where we did all of these things, we went through, and then somehow we managed, we survived. The children they're in that space where they don't even stay in to survive. You will see them just throw in the towel and walk away. Now, what are they going to be walking away to? This is the challenge, right? Because, the young children, sorry, this is not even getting to me. So the young children we have these days would rather throw in the towel and walk into nothing at all. Right? They throw in the towel, they walk into nothing at all. So they don't want to stress. They don't want to, if they're not getting fulfilled, or they're not getting, the kind of results, or they're not, if they're not happy. These days you hear them talk about mental health a lot. You hear them talk about, they're very blunt about what they don't like. They know what they don't like. They don't like what they don't like. But the thing is, when they have not been guided, when they've not been equipped to recognize the things that they truly like, or the things that they are truly good at, and have spent time refining themselves, honing those skills and building them, you find out that they walk away from the things that they do not like, but there's nothing to walk to. That is the real challenge. So we are having more and more young people who are, permit me to use the word useless. Okay, it's neither, I'm not going to do the one that I'm not happy with, but I'm not going to do anything at all, because I can't survive I don't have any other thing to turn to. We don't want to do that to our children, dear parents. So this is why it is very, very important that you understand what success means in the 21st century, and that you help your child and guide your child and place your child in environments where they can be supported and they can thrive and recognize who they are, right? Self-awareness is a big deal in today's world. Very, very key. The fifth one I'm going to be sharing, and the last one, of course, parents are to know that they are first coaches of success to their children. A child's mindset about success is shaped at home more than anywhere else. A lot of us, it's that time of the year. The children are about to go to school. We are very busy. We're very busy right now buying school uniforms, buying lunch balls, buying Stanley Cups. It's all about the fancy things. All right. We have not thought about the child's mindset while the child is going back to school. We have not thought about how we have modeled success to our children. What story do they have? What impressions do they have? What ideas do they have? What perspective have been shared with them, and of course, what convictions do they have about what success is truly. All right. It is time that we start pointing our children to this. And this is why we put together the back to school, yes, the back to school vision workshop for children age 5 to 13. All right. This is typically the first, session that we have with our mastermind partners when they join the mastermind circle. It is during this session that we set goals for the year, right? We set goals for the year. We help the children. And yes, dear parents, your 5-year-old can set goals for themselves. We are doing this. I mean, we're doing it in a whole different way this year because we're working with the children based on their age and what is relatable for a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. So our first session is going to be with the 5 to 8-year-olds, and then the next session is for the 10 to 13-year-olds. So if you have registered for the mastermind circle already, your child is already in the mastermind circle 2025-2026 cohort, yeah, this is free for you. And yes, for all those parents that their children also joined the reading challenge, our reading challenge, summer fun activity reading challenge 2025, you also get access free. But for other parents whose children did not join any of those programs, it is very, very affordable, just 5,000 naira, and your child can be a part of this class, all right, where we are going to be helping the children visualize what they want the year to be. We're going to teach them how to put their thoughts into what kind of year they want to have, how to bring themselves to picture the kind of year that they want to have. We're going to guide them to set goals that will help them thrive and not just survive in the school year. And in other areas of their lives, yes, very, very important, because we are all about our children thriving, all right, beyond the classroom. We're going to do that. We're going to help the children create their very own vision boards. Yes, we're going to help them create their very own vision boards, right? And of course, we are going to do more than that. We have our signature growth tree that we're going to be using with the young children in the mastermind circle this year. We want the children to see themselves grow. We want them to see their growth tree expand during the course of the year. All right. Remember, I said at the beginning, self-awareness is very key to us, especially this year. Self-awareness is very important. We want the children to recognize their strength. We want them to recognize their superpower. We want them to know their place in their community, in their home, in the world. We want them to recognize the areas where they can start dominating. We want them to see themselves grow and recognize the growth in what areas they are growing. So that's what the growth tree is going to be doing for your child, because the child will watch that tree grow during the course of the year. All right, so we're going to be putting all of this into that class, all right, the vision workshop that is coming up just in 2 days' time, 5th and 6th of September. So if you've not registered your child yet, just check in the comment section after this class and register your child to be a part of it. All right, as I said, if your child is already in the mastermind new cohort, then just bring the child, let the child get ready and show up in class. If the child was in the reading challenge, let them show up. If they have not been in they're not in any of this, all right, you can still get into the mastermind circle anyway. We're starting on the 13th, and 14th is our orientation. So yes, you can still get in right now. All right, when you get in, of course, you would also get the replay. But if you want your child to join us, right, and they don't belong to any of our communities, then just small 5K, they can join, commitment fee, because this course is worth much more than that. All right, but commitment fee, they get in here, and then we build for the year. We get set for the year. We get set to succeed beyond the classroom. All right, so as I round off, let's look at one story. Let's talk about a story. Let me share a biblical story for you that, talks about children or young people who are not just academically sound, right, but had other qualities. All right. The story of Daniel, Shadrach, and Meshach in the Bible actually talks about, how, and Abednego, right? Sorry. All right. So it was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were not just academically excellent, right? These young men showed qualities in other area. They negotiated respectfully with their overseers, didn't they? In that story, they were spiritually grounded, they were disciplined, and these were part of the quality that ensured that they thrived in Babylon. All right, their success in Babylon came from a holistic life that these young men had. They had wisdom, they had faith, they had courage, they portrayed or they showed themselves as people who had excellence. I mean, look at the story of Elon Musk. If you've read anything about Elon Musk's mother, all right, the story of Elon Musk, their mother was a single mother, right? She was a single mother who raised her children, right, while working multiple jobs. But the thing is, she wasn't just pushing academics in her children. She encouraged independence in her children. She talked about how each of her children had to get their scholarships into school. They had to work towards it. They had to do all of that, right? She encouraged independence. She encouraged creativity. Each child being aware of their individuality and their uniqueness, and of course they were able to use that. She encouraged problem solving amongst her children. I mean, today we talk about Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and his siblings are doing well in different areas. Now, it's not just about doing well in your field, it's about the people you're able to impact. It's about the difference you're able to make in the world. It's about the impact you're able to create in the world. And this is what we should help our children focus on in today's world, understanding that impact trumps every other thing when we are talking about true success. Very, very important, okay, that we do this. So yes, you have two opportunities to get your children in that space. If you recognize today, we're giving you two opportunities, right, to get your children in spaces where we can help or we can partner with you to support them. All right, get them on board our back to school, right, our back to school vision workshop. Which is happening in just 2 days, right? The 5th and the 6th, right? Friday and Saturday. Get them on board to be a part of that. It's a good place to start. It's a good way to start the year. It's a good way to jolt your child's mindset to think of themselves as people who have who have the front stage in their lives, and they can begin to pilots, right, as we say in the mastermind. The children can begin to take their place as the chief pilots of their lives. See, if your 6-year-old hasn't started recognizing that he has a role to play in his life, you are wrong. Not to talk of you have a 10-year-old who thinks everything he does is for mommy or for daddy. That's the mindset you need to erase. So let them know as they're going back to school that this is not for mommy, this is not for daddy, this is not about us, it is about you, and you are the chief pilot of your life. Very, very critical. And yes, if your child is 5 to 10 and they are not in the mastermind circle, why now? The mastermind circle is a solid foundation ground where our curriculum is tailored to help children build a solid foundation. Yes, we are focused on this group of children, this age group. So what we bring to the mastermind circle is peculiar. It is aimed at this group of children. All of our energy is put and is focused on this group of children. So yes, it is a solid foundation ground, I dare say. All right. So in the mastermind circle, we do not just give accountability, we give the closest kind of accountability that you can think of. And beyond the child being mentored and given accountability, you have access to us as their parents. So we build a community where parents come together to support their children, and we can hold your hands and walk with you through this journey, even while our focus is on your child. So yes, if you'd like to also get your child on board the mastermind circle, you can do that by clicking the link. If you are on Instagram, all right, the link is on our bio. Just click the link in our bio and you will see our bio, yes, and you will see the link, the seller link to register your child in the mastermind circle. You can also send us a DM or check in the comment section and see the details that you need on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. All right, you have the link and you have the details that you need to just click and get your child on board the mastermind circle. We move from the 14th of September. In fact, by 13th, we have onboarded and we've started having conversations. And then on the 14th, we are going to have our orientation. So, yes, get your child on board from the start. Let's do this together. It's a transformational journey that I can't wait to go on with your child. And I promise you, you're about to give your child an environment, you're about to give your child an opportunity that will transform them. Thank you for joining me for this session. And I hope, dear parents, that you'll begin to look closely, right, to redefine what success truly is in the 21st century. Join me again tomorrow, hopefully at 8 p.m. We're supposed to go live at 8 p.m., but we had some technical issues. Join me tomorrow at 8 p.m. where I will be sharing another part of this series, all right, Success Beyond the Classroom. My name is Maribeth Chima, and yes, I am the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, the umpire of the Reading Challenge, and yes, the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. Thank you for joining me. And if you're catching the replay, let us know in the comment section that you joined us, okay? And let us know what value you got from this session. Thank you again. Share this with your friends and family. Get your children on board and let's do life together. Thank you again. God bless you for being a part of this session. I'll see you again tomorrow.